Well, dramatic start on this first lap. But we rejoin our leaders. You see a big puff of smoke in the back of the screen there. And that's good movement there on the outside to get a place in the middle of the field. And who's that then? That is indeed car 16, which is Gustav Malja. So, after that great start then by Jaap van Lagen, he's managing to hold off the advantage of the two BW2 Lechner racing cars at the moment, who are pretty much in a championship battle. But he's put in some good results, has Lagen. He's finished a second and a third in previous rounds in 2017 as well. So the difference is just over 0.2 of a second. Preining all over the back of our race leader. As we approach then the first turn. And well, Preining is certainly sniffing, isn't he? In fourth place, it is still Larry ten Voort, also from Netherlands. So two Dutchmen in the top four. Fantastic angle this, as we can see just how close they are on board then with Thomas Preining, who has of course won the previous 4 races, looking to get a move now to see if he can make it 5 in a row. He was in fantastic form yesterday with an excellent qualifying time, making his way now towards the corner. Amma Muller, our championship leader, has been Mr. Consistent, hasn't he, over the course of this season. Hasn't finished outside the top 4, 2 wins already to his name. He's going to certainly be in with a chance in over the course of this race, but under pressure from Larry ten Voort, who is all over the back of our championship leader, only managing to qualify in 3rd place. And this then opens up that gap between first and second, going a little bit wide that there, Preining. Well, Preining fancies a look up the corner here, but it's the door firmly closed by Lagen, and it's as you were. So Lagen in first place, Preining in second place, in third place our championship leader Amma Muller, and in fourth place it is Larry ten Voort. Still that gap just over 1/10. Preining having another look up the inside. The door firmly shut there though by the Dutchman. Preining all over the back of him, and in fact holding up the field a little bit here as our top 10 drivers are very much in a good battle here. It's anyone's guess really as to who's going to finish on the podium here. And that gap between Preining and his teammates is not much between those two either. So 3 laps into the race. Preining, of course, qualifying in pole position, but losing out then to the Dutchman Jaap van Lagen on the opening first corner. He was 4/10 slower than Preining in qualifying, but he's holding his own in the race at the moment. Opened up a very small gap then between him and the number 2 car at the moment. Looking for his first win of the season is Jaap van Lagen. Second and third position in previous rounds over the course of the weekend. Looking in good form as things stand. So 3 laps down then, and things starting to settle into a rhythm as Preining takes another look up the inside. Again, the door slammed shut there by the Dutchman, and you can see on board now with Preining, 160 kilometers per hour. Is he going to make this move? At some point you feel it could be inevitable. Getting a good bit of a slipstream as we head up the straight, flashing his headlights, trying to maybe cause a bit of distraction. All over the back, and can he get the move done now around the outside? He could well do, turning inside, but again, fantastic defending there by Lagen, who really is holding his own out the front at the moment, but you do feel like it is a matter of time before we see a change of leader. Preining looking to make it 5 race victories in a row. He won both races. Oh, when it's contact at the back, then it is car number 5, which is Tim Zimmerman. Tim Zimmerman, who wasn't able to finish the final race of Nuremberg weekend last week, makes contact at the back there, manages to get going again though. And into the pits comes Soren Spreng. So the car wenched up, and a little bit of work being done on the car there. Meanwhile, resume the battle then for the first few positions. Currently leading the way, it is Jaap van Lagen from Netherlands. Getting that jump on Preining early on in the race. And Preining is once again all over the back of the Dutchman. Just not managing to find a way through, though, at the moment. Strap yourselves in, ladies and gentlemen. Just 4 laps gone. Another 8 remaining. And this could be a chance then for Preining. Looks to be alongside, still a car length behind, putting the pressure on our race leader, who has an answer for everything at the moment. You just feel that Amma Müller in 3rd position in the other BWT Lechner racing car is just biding his time at the moment, just seeing what happens between these two, because of course were there to be contact between them, battling us out at the front of the field, he could take advantage of that and just cruise to victory potentially. That's not right off Larry ten Voort though in the touch boast by Project One. To get that early overtake done, and really making it difficult for Preining to find a way past. You feel the longer this battle goes on, perhaps maybe more of a risk Preining is likely to take, as you see stones flicked up off the circuit as the drivers just clipping the edges, using every part of the track available. Who's going to have the better racing line coming ahead? Just going a little bit wide there, Preining, but getting away with it. Gets into the slipstream of Van Lagen. Wow. Meanwhile, Amma Müller is closing down that gap on Preining, but you just feel that he's going to bide his time, don't you, as we make our way past the start straight finish. The gap, well, it said 0.3 of a second there, but I think perhaps it's being closed. Preining again, we're definitely in the quicker car, but looking up the inside is Amma Müller. No way though, says Preining. And board there with Michael Anna Müller. And that's sad to see, isn't it? Sadly for Lucas Ertel from the Race Union car. You can see the damage to the front of his car there. A nasty shunt a little bit earlier on in the race, and his car looks to be out and out. And Parrish next to him in the pit lane as well, having lots of problems. In car 15, the MRS GT racing car. Meanwhile, we rejoin our battle for first position. And a couple of cars going right in the background there. But currently, our race leader then is Thomas Preining. Sorry, apologies. Our race leader is not Thomas Preining. He's out on pole. It is Jaap van Lagen, our race leader, closely followed, of course, by Thomas Preining, who's been behind him. The majority of this race, Michael Amma Müller back in 3rd position. In 4th position, it is car 93, Larry ten Voort in the Team Dutch posts by Project One. And in 5th position, it is Igor Waliko. Car number 37, Race Union, started in 6th position. Preining again just not able to quite get close enough to make that move. He's all over. Oh, and it's a little slide wide there by a race leader, and that allows Preining to, well, he's gone wide, and he hasn't taken the opportunity. Mistakes by both cars. How fortunate was that then for Jaap van Leggen? Sliding a little bit wide, Preining going wide himself in an attempt to try and get past our race leader. Michael Ammermuller all over the back of the two of them. And perhaps now you're starting to see Jaap van Leggen feeling the pressure. Preining just swerving from left to right. Really felt that was an opportunity for the German to retake the lead of this race, because of course he did start in pole position. Here then we have a replay of what happened there heading into that corner. You can just see heading wide and losing grip, but correcting himself. Preining himself heading wide, and we're going to get a great view here on board with championship leader Ammermuller. There you can see he goes wide. Preining looks to have got the job done, but it goes wide himself. Great recovery that from Van Leggen. Ammermuller just a spectator in the drama that unfolds in front of him. And you just feel Ammermuller biding his time, because if something like that happens again, you know he's there to pounce. And if there'd been any contact between the two of them, then he would have been certainly in with a chance of getting the leap. So as things stand then, Jaap van Leggen from Netherlands leading the way. All over the back of him is Thomas Preining, who's won the previous 4 races, looking to make it 5 in a row. All over the back now of Van Leggen, getting that slipstream as we head into the first corner. Is he going to be able to go out the outside now? I think the door's going to be shut here on the way into the corner. Nearly contact made. Does this then give an opportunity for Ammermuller to come back? No, it doesn't. And it's as you were. That battle for 4th and 5th is heating up as well. As you can see, Tony Wolff starting to get a sniff, and I think Tony Wolff gets the job. No, not quite. Apologies, that was Igor Waliko in car 37, not Tony Wolff. But again, attention once more turning to this race lead battle, which is the Dutchman Jaap van Leggen, who is controlling things at the moment, but he has a lot of pressure from the BWT Lechner racing cars all over the back of him. Between the two of them, they've won every race so far this season. Could we see, for the first time this 2018 season, a new team with victory? 8 laps gone, 8 remaining. It looks like there's a little bit of debris on the track, but it's not on the racing line, so that shouldn't cause anyone too many problems, unless of course there is any overtaking or defending at that point. Well, I'm trying to do a rundown of the top 10, but every time it happens, there's some drama unfolding in front of us. So, in first position, it is car number 69. He started in second place, and we're seeing an overtake in the back of the shot there. That is, of course, the battle for 4th and 5th between car number 93, which is, of course, Larry ten Voort, managing to defend well. He's been under pressure, hasn't he, for vast majority of the last few laps by Igor Waliko in the Race Union car. Wow, it's at this point of the race, when you've seen such superb defensive racing by the Dutchman, you start to wonder whether or not he's going to be able to get past Preining, because he's had one really good chance, wasn't able to take it. And we could be on course to see our first non-BWT Lechner racing car winning a race of the 2018 season. Listening here to the sound of that engine, the Force Racing car. Magnificent piece of equipment, working to its absolute maximum, trying to fend off the advances then of Thomas Preining, who is really, really close, isn't he? Can he get a good slipstream coming out of this corner? Well, he certainly getting close enough, isn't he? But just not got quite the pace to get past him. I do feel that if Pryning is to get past, he will go on to win this race. 4/10 quicker than anybody in qualifying yesterday. He's on pole position for tomorrow's race as well. But frustrated after that start, where, of course, Jaap van Lagen got the lead and has since kept first place. So 2 Dutchmen in the top 4. There you can see car 93, which is Larry ten Voort, also of Holland. He's got 3 podiums so far this year. 5th last event in Nuremberg, on board then with Thomas Pryning in that BWT Lechner racing car. Both cars going a little bit wide, and you can just see how close he is, how little of the track he can see when he's so far up the rear of Jaap van Lagen. Swerving from left to right, you just feel Thomas Pryning has so much more pace if he can just get past that Force racing car. And well, potentially that will make a real impact in the championship standings too, with championship leader currently running in 3rd position. On board with our championship leader, Michael Ammermuller. It is, of course, 25 points for a victory, 20 points for second. Right, now, we've seen this before, Pryning up alongside our race leader. It looks like he might have the pace to do it this time, though, going round the outside. Can he get into that corner first? I think once again we're going to see the same defensive move then from Van Lagen, who goes over the apex of the corner, and it is 3 abreast, and in fact Pryning has lost a place in all that drama. Pryning loses a place to his teammate. What a dramatic turn of events that is then. And as we've been saying over the course of this race, Ammermuller just biding his time. Pryning perhaps sniffed the opportunity to take the race lead, and in doing so, lost a position to his teammate and championship rival. Well, this is significant for the championship battle, isn't it? And you just wonder now whether Ammermuller can use his experience to get past Thomas Pryning. Or, sorry, to get past Jaap van Lagen. He's just got past Thomas Pryning, and hasn't this race changed in dynamic? 11 laps old. Car number 11 moves up to 2nd position. Drama here on the 11th lap. Well, Ammermuller now all over the back then of Jaap van Lagen. Pryning's going to be looking to potentially get that position back. Both teammates, both obviously in the same car, the BWT Lechner racing cars, who've been absolutely dominant so far this season. Not a single race hasn't been won by those two. As things stand, that could be about to change. So 25 points available for a race victory. And we get a replay then of that overtake. So you can see Pryning on the outside. He had a good line, didn't he? But it was good defending by Jaap van Lagen. They both went wide. So both attacked the centre of the corner, clipping the apex. And here you can see Ammermuller just had open road. Probably thought he might even take the race lead at this point. But somehow Jaap van Lagen, with a car as wide as a bus, still managing to maintain that race lead, just clipping the apex there. In fact, going right over the apex of the corner. We're going to get another angle here, and you can see, wow, how close was that to contact. Good avoidance there, that by Pryning, to avoid getting a shunt and losing speed coming out of the corner, and so losing position then to his teammate Michael Ammermuller. So 25 points up for the winner of this race, 20 points for second place. So Pryning is 8 points behind his teammate in the championship standings as things stand. This would knock him to 12 points further back. 4 of the last races have been won by the German of Pryning. He's got work to do now as we enter the last section of this race. In fourth position in the yellow and black car is Larry Tenford, starting in fourth, maintains that fourth place position. He's going to be happy with his day's work so far. 3 podiums, probably not going to become a 4th podium as things stand. A gap between 3rd and 4th now, 1.6 seconds. Let's not rule anything out though. Prining now having a look up the inside. Is he going to get the job done in the same place where his teammate overtook him in the previous lap? Well, I think he has. No, that's good defending that there by Amar Muller. And just about manages with some good defence to fend his teammate off. Meanwhile, that's given our race leader, Jaap van Lagen, a good advantage now. He's opened up a bit of a gap as those two scrapping behind. That seems to be the place to get the job done, though, doesn't it, on that first corner? That's where we've seen pretty much all the overtakes from these lead drivers over the course of this race. And doing so, that has brought Larry Tenford into play somewhat. Was 1.6 the gap now between those two. Certainly lessened. It's just 0.4 of a second now between 3rd and 4th. We're going to see a replay then of that move. So Prining going up the inside, around the outside, and there is contact between the two teammates. Just a little kiss on the back of the car, and somehow Amar Muller able to keep that position, and in doing so maintaining his 2nd place, which will extend his championship lead. Amar Muller hasn't won for a while though. He won in Oschersleben the first 2 races of the season. Since then he's finished 2nd every race to Thomas Prining, so I'm sure psychologically finishing ahead of his teammate certainly would make a difference. The drivers using all of the track available to them in those BW Lechner Racing, bright pink with a white and grey on the back, trying to close that gap then back to our race leader. But it's given a bit of breathing space then to Jaap van Lagen. There you see car number 18, Michael Desqueda, Team Deutsche Post by Project One. So the gap then has been closed back down to our race leader as we enter the final few laps of this race. Fascinating stuff, a great race we've had here, and we're going to get a replay because I think perhaps the race leader locked up big time going into that corner, didn't he? Perhaps giving an indication of the tyre wear. Very hot conditions here. Very hot track temperature, a little bit of wind helping cool things down, and that has resulted then in Amar Muller being all over the back then of Jaap van Lagen. While Prining, as we head down the start straight finish for the 15th time, is going to be looking to get a move now on his teammate. Goes out wide, as we've seen him do. I don't think he's going to do it this time, or is he going to try and sneak up the middle? No, he's not. All over the back of his teammate as tyre wear starts to become a factor. We may start seeing a few mistakes slipping in. Thomas Prining sliding all over the track. You can feel perhaps the tyres are starting to falter. That then the Force Racing team looking on anxiously from the sidelines. What a fantastic result this would be. Van Lagen with a 2nd and a 3rd. This would be a maiden victory this season for the Dutchman were things to stay the same. 15 of the 16 laps completed. We are approaching our final lap of the race. This then the penultimate lap. We've had drama pretty much from start to finish in this, the 7th round of the 2018 Porsche Carrera Cup Germany. Entering final stages, and the front 6 cars in a league of their own today, led by Jaap van Leggen of Netherlands. And Tony Wolff in the background of your shot there in P6. Wolff started in 15th place. So that shows you how well he's done to get through the field. This would be his best result of the season so far. So great drive that there from Tony Wolff. Well, Thomas Preining has gone up into 2nd position. I'm not sure where that happened. Maybe we'll get a replay of that, but Preining now potentially making his way round the corner, and Thomas Preining looks like he could be about to take the race lead. No, he doesn't. Just pushed out there. Well, he got past his teammate earlier on in the lap, as we are of course on the final lap now. Thomas Preining is all over the back of Jaap van Leggen, who has led since the first corner of the race. It would be his first ever victory. It would be his first victory of the season, and the first victory of the season that doesn't go the way then of the BWT Lechner Racing. It's coming right down to the wire here at the Nürburgring. Preining then, with a 2nd place victory, would make up some... Wow, a little look up the inside that there by Preining. He would make up some points on his teammate if things are to stay the same as we're heading around the corner. I don't think he's going to get the job done. He's pushed him right to the end. Great stuff by all of our drivers, but the winner of the 7th round is Dutchman Jaap van Leggen. What a superb race by the Force Racing team, all congratulating each other on the sidelines. Thomas Preining coming home in 2nd position, switching places with his teammate over the course of the race. In the end, though, once more, Müller having to settle for a place behind his teammates, and that means that the gap is just 4 points. But that then is our race leader, Jaap van Leggen from Netherlands, and what a superb race he's done there. He got the jump in going into the first corner and didn't lose the race lead once during the course of this race. Superb stuff by the Dutchman. A great race as well by the BWT Lechner Racing boys. Thomas Preining coming home in 2nd place. In 3rd place, Michael Müller, our championship leader, but only just 4 points now separating the 2 teammates. In 3rd position, Larry ten Voort has finished on the podium 3 times this season. Here then we'll see a replay then of Preining getting past his teammate up the inside here, squeezing his way through to take that all-important 2nd position as we headed into the final lap. Good stuff that there by Preining, and how important could that be come the end of the season, with just 4 points separating the 2 teammates. First time this season that BWT Lechner Racing car hasn't won a race. Müller throwing his hand up in frustration. He's getting used to seeing the back then of Preining's car. I'm sure he's going to want to put a stop to that. Of course, another race tomorrow. Race 2 from Nürburgring, our 4th consecutive race of the season from the Nürburgring, as the drivers make their way back into the pits. So then, our race winner, Jaap van Leggen, the Force Racing driver from Netherlands, car number 69. In second place, it is Thomas Preining of Germany, just 4 points off the championship leader, who finished in third place, Michael Ammermuller. In fourth place, car number 93, Larry ten Voort from Holland. And in fifth place, rounding up the top 5, was Igor Waliko. In sixth place, what a fantastic drive indeed that was from Tony Wolff. Starting the race in 15th position, finishing all the way up in 6th. Incredible stuff that there. So, Ammermuller, well, at one point looked like he could have been battling for the race lead. He was certainly giving Preining a run for his money, and then putting a bit of pressure under Van Lagen. Thumbs up to the camera. Still a podium, but not probably the result he would have wanted. This then confirmation of the results. There you can see then Jaap Van Lagen with the victory. Thomas Preining in second. Michael Ammermuller with third place. Larry ten Voort in fourth. Igor Waliko in fifth position. Tony Wolff in sixth. Richard Wagner in seventh place. And Jacob Eidson in eighth. In ninth position was John Baptiste Simonoya. In 10th place to Tim Zimmerman. 11th is Sandro Kaibach. In 12th it is Marco de Casado. Stefan Rechkoff in 13th. In 14th, John Schmidt-Stadt. In 15th was Henrik Schock of Sweden. In 17th place, Tom Laustenschlager. 18th, it is Andreas Szczepanski. Matthias Weiland in 19th, Rupert Lucas in the 20th, Lucas Ertel in 21st. And a DNF there for Dylan Piera, Marius Nacken and Gustav Malja for their respective collisions. Lovely shot there of the Nuremberg Castle. The spectators out in their force then, and this confirmation of the driver classification after 7 rounds. 5 points then the difference between Preining and Ammermuller. And Larry ten Voort of Netherlands in third position, and Van Lagen now up to 5th place after that race victory. 78 points off our leader Tim Zimmerman. In 10th position, Gustav Malja of Sweden in 13th. So just seeing a replay now then of one of those many moves by Preining. Well, that was the end of the race, sorry, that was the end of the race. And Preining flashing his lights, possibly slightly frustrated. And there is the raised fist of our race winner. The checkered flag would have been a welcome sight for him, considering the pressure he was put under by the BWT Lechner Racing boys over the course of that race. He looks happy, doesn't he? Understandably. Really growing in stature here. Windy day here, though, in Nuremberg. So, third place then for our championship leader, Michael Ammermuller. 5 points better off than our second place man, Thomas Preining, who can't make it 5 victories in a row. He does, however, make it another second place for him. In fact, his first second place of the season, having had a bit of a hairy start in Oschersleben. He's been playing catch up since then. This then our race winner, Jaap Van Lagen. A second and a third in Nürburgring the previous round. And he has gone one better, hasn't he? Winning the race here in the Nürburgring 7th round. That there is our 3 podium finishes. Their cars cooling down now. I'm sure been pushed right to the limit. You saw perhaps a bit of tyre wear there from Jaap van Lagen at the end of the race. Great stuff. That's the helmet then, and one of the many designs you see on the back of a Porsche Carrera Cup Germany racing helmet. Stewards doing a fantastic job as always to make sure that the various bits of carbon fibre, etc., are cleared off the track so that they don't cause any punctures or any other problems. They must be hot out there in those fireproof suits. Not too far away then from the podium. Well, the BWT Lechner racing cars certainly have taken some beating this season. That's the first time they've not won a race. I'm sure they'll be keen to put amends to that tomorrow. Here then is the podium. And on the top of the podium, it is Jaap van Lagen. So the winner's trophy presented then. A very deserving victory, Jaap van Lagen. In second place is Thomas Preining, who is taking this championship battle all the way. He wasn't able to make it 5 consecutive victories. And in third place is our championship leader, Michael Ammermuller, who after victory in the first 2 races has only been off the podium once since then, in the last race in Nürburgring. And there is the Constructors' Trophy. Well deserved that there for Force Racing. Warm round of applause from the teams as they get together on the winner's step to pose for some pictures. Ammermuller then 139 points. Preining's been playing catch-up all season, hasn't he? He's nearly there, just 5 points off. That is, of course, the difference between first and second, so really key who gets the victory in the next round tomorrow. Make sure you join us again for live coverage of that race. If Preining, who's starting on pole, can win that, then he will take the championship lead. He's hiding around the back, perhaps to try and avoid the champagne. The cameraman getting sprayed there as well. Holds up a hand of apology to Thomas Preining. Good stuff, very entertaining. Well, a lovely overview shot then of the Nürburgring, which of course has many different variations to it, doesn't it? It has a 24-kilometre variation which people from around the world come to race on that. And there are of course races from various different events over the course of the day. We will now bring you though the race highlights of a dramatic 7th round here in the Porsche Carrera Cup Germany 2018 Championships. there you saw what could have been a really crucial moment. Preining sensed the opportunity